Good evening, everybody. This is AFM Justin Rishworth. This class is for the under 1,000 rated class, and in this video, I'll be sending on the group the link where you can go on the stream and you can give me a Q&A question, or alternatively, I think it might be better if you just give it to me on the comments. So you just put your comments below and you just say you give your questions, and I promise to try and answer them to the best that I can. So let's quickly go through stuff. So what's going to happen is I'll be explaining certain basics or certain things that I feel that you need to know. For those of you who don't know, I'm an AFM master. I'm rated 1,500. I'm one of the top players in Jervis Bay. And those of you that probably seen me at the tournaments, I've won quite a few tournaments. I played a lot of tournaments in your hometown. So that's just a brief background. And I'm gonna try and get most streaming done on a Sunday evening. If the parents are okay with it, let me know in the group if you guys are okay with it. If that's something you guys want to go do or want to do going forward, I feel it might be a lovely idea. And how it's going to work is below I'll give my PayPal if you feel like you want to donate something to say thank you, whatever, it's your choice. But other than that, the aim is to try and help development with chess, especially in Jeffreys Bay or whatever junior I can try and help improve. That remains my number one goal. At the moment, I've achieved a lot of things. I'm happy to where I am, what I've done in my chess playing days. So for me, it's no longer about me, it's about the juniors. So let's get right to it. Right, so first thing we need to know is tip number one. When we're playing chess, we need to keep playing chess. What do I mean by that? Is you need to constantly play chess. So if you're at home and you feel like playing chess, play online. You got Lead Chess, you got chess.com, you got chess24. If you're not sure who to join or what to join, please message me or Petrus or any one of them. I'm sure, or even your coaches, I'm sure they will guide you which is better. But keep playing. So if you're an under 1,000 rated player, I recommend do not play Blitz, which is 5 minutes or 3 minutes. I would stay away from it. I recommend you playing 15 minutes aside just to give yourself thinking time and to be more realistic on what you'll play on a Saturday in a tournament. Okay, next thing we need to know is you also need to practice your tactics. What you have been taught by your coach or your mentor. You need to practice it. So when your coach teaches you something, go and practice it. And if you think you've done it, go practice it again. If you got it right, practice it again until you remember it. Because I promise you, your tactics that you learn, it will occur in your games. And it's good to identify those situations. And then you must also remember, all players in chess, the game starts equal. So it doesn't matter what I've done, doesn't matter what you've done in the previous game. So those of you that know, I've beaten Gatukamsky on Lead Chess Simul. When I came back, there was some players gave a lot of hype saying I've done that and done that. And I said it doesn't really matter because every game starts on ground level. It doesn't matter who you're beaten. Doesn't matter on your results. So you could have had a bad loss. Each game starts on a clean slate. Always prepare for parents. This is specifically for you, for your children. Always prepare them for the positives and negatives. I know sometimes tournaments, it can be heartbreaking. Sometimes it can really, really hurt. And we need to, yes, there's negativity that comes through, but we must also find some positives. So if you lost to a stronger player, find a positive that you tested yourself against the stronger player. If you that's for me normally the big mental block for, especially for youngsters. That's the biggest block that comes up. And then have a positive mindset for every game. Before the game starts, during the game, if you're not going to be positive, then you will never give yourself a chance of winning a game, or even not just winning, to have a very nice game. I don't know about you who's watching this, but regardless of the result, I like to make sure that I give my opponent a really, really nice game. Then another thing, like I said in my previous video, a draw is better than a loss. Youngsters, I'm talking to you specifically. Many times you're in positions that you should be drawing. I don't want to draw. I want to win, mommy. And you know what? Those times you actually lose the game. And when your coaches go through the game with you or go over your notations with you, and they ask you what happened, and you say, my opponent offered a draw. But you know what? Sometimes we just need to take it, and at least come in a tournament, you at least get half a point. And then learn from your mistakes. So if you've lost, you need to learn from them. There's a reason why you lost. You make mistakes. And every chess player makes mistakes. But we need to learn from them. So what I'm going to do for you all now, we're gonna look at some stuff, and I'm going to share my screen, and I want to show you some games first, and then we'll go with the Q&A. Right. So as you can see here, I flip the board. First things first, center. You need to put your pieces in the center first. That's principle number 1. Principle number 2 is we need to follow our principles. So in other words, here's the clean board over here. So let's look at this. See how I control the center over here? Black would do the same. Develop the knights. Simple reason. You notice how we're all playing in the center here. Okay. And for the beginners, I recommend let's take both knights out. Simple reason is you got the spawns in the middle over here that's controlling these squares over here. No, not there. Sorry. And look at your knights. Look at the knights. Oh, they're ugly arrows. Sorry, guys. Look at these knights. It's controlling the center. Can you see that? And bishops, look how many pieces is attacking that center over there. That's really, really good. So black does the same. Remember, don't always just follow don't use the same examples what I'm showing you over here, because every game is different. But the idea over here is I want you to see the principles over here. So white's controlling these centers, black is controlling these centers, and it's all thanks to these pawns over here. We castle early, get our king to safety. Okay. Then we bring this bishop out. So ideally, you got two bishops that's out. You got knights. You got the knights in the game. The king is castled. See how safe the king is? It's very safe. And all our pieces are working together. So therefore, I cannot lose in 10 moves or 5 moves against any opponent. Why? Because I followed my principles. So what I'm going to do, let's have a look at some violations. And then after the violations, we're going to start with Q&A questions. Okay. So E4, E5, knight F3, D6. Now, so put in the comments below if it's okay. And tell me, what was the first violation? What was the first violation in this game? Stop. Think. What was Black's mistake? Black over here is look how this pawn is blocking our bishop. That's not really nice. Actually, if I was black, I'm not happy. So look how white punishes black for his mistake. See, he's following. See how he's following the principles. Black is not following his principles, but white is. See how the knights are developed, and the bishop. Look here, one piece out. This one's blocking the bishop over here. So you can already see black is in an awful lot of trouble. You can see there. So because of this, so let's see what happened here. So black plays this. He's developing the bishop. But notice there's a tactic over here. And if you're not sure of his tactic, ask your coach, your mentor, or any top player to explain this to you. Or if you see him in an open tournament, I'll be very happy to explain this to you. So let's look what happened here. I take. Now, is this a good move or is this a bad move? Pause and think. Who's better and why? Now look at this. So there's going to be two arguments. The one argument is white made a mistake, so black is better. Black is going to win the queen. But here's the other argument, and this is the correct argument. Let's see which one's correct. So what I do, obviously, black does not know what's going on. He wins the queen. So essentially, oh no, I'm in trouble, right? Watch what white does. I take the pawn, king to e7, then knight d5, and it's checkmate. Notice, because of his violation of the principle, he lost in 7 moves. So you can agree with me, that's not a good game. White is happy because he won. Black is not. Let's look at another violation. E4, E5, knight E3, knight C6, bishop C4. What is the mistake here? Let's go a little bit further. What's the mistake here? Who's better and why? Pause what you're doing and think. What was the violation here, guys? The violation here is, if you're watching this video later, pause the video and think, but white is being very greedy. He took the pawn. What should he have rather done? He should have rather developed. He should have continued developing his pieces. He could have made. He should have maybe castle instead. He could have maybe pushed the pawn. He could have developed his second knight. See how he's not following his principles? Let's see what happens. So queen g5. Very, very strong move. So white got greedy. He took the second pawn and he thought, here's a fork. Watch here. Queen takes g2. And suddenly, white is in trouble. Black is winning. Let's see why. Rook f1. Queen takes e4. Bishop e2. And knight f3. Notice how ugly white's position was. And notice he got greedy so quickly. And because he got greedy, he made mistakes. Okay? So that was very, very, very bad. So now let's analyze a game together. This is what every beginner should know. The game was played by Vasily Inverchuk and Vishy Anand. So let's see what happened here. This is the perk opening. There's nothing that special here. Notice he took with this pawn. If he went this way, that's also okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's his preference, but Inverchuk wanted this instead, which is okay. I played there. But now remember the video. Remember what I showed you earlier in the video. Look how this bishop is cramped. Look how open is white's pieces. Do you see that? So bishop e3. So Vasily Inverchuk is doing what we just saw now. He's developing his pieces. He's following the basics. Queen d2. Knight d7. This, in my opinion, is a very, very bad move because now he's blocking both bishops. Castle queenside. Now the plan is here is white is gonna attack the king side. Black is gonna attack the queen side. and it becomes a race. So why am I showing this? Because as chess players, we need to create plans. We need to attack the king. So let's see what they did. Rook e8. What he's doing here is rook open. Watch invert check. h4. See how he's immediately attacking the king here. See there. That's very, very strong. c6, because black wants to put a queen here to attack. To attack the king side. So king b1. The reason why they're king b1, so that this pawn doesn't come weak. You saw Vishy Anand was going to play this. Okay? So we need to so the lesson here is we need to make sure our king is safe first before we continue with our plans. See, I told you that was coming. h5. Why? White is continuing with his plan, and the white's king is safe, and this a pawn is safe. Now we understand why he played king b1 first, and then push h5. See how he waited before he executed his plans? Sometimes you have to wait and be patient. h6, stopping the white pawn. Bishop d3, developing his final minor piece, which is the bishop over here. And now, look at this. Look how beautiful this is. Black has got one piece attacking. This bishop is stuck. This bishop is stuck. Do you see how white's plan is falling into place? Because he followed his principles. Because he followed his principles, he created conditions for him to attack the king. So, bishop f8, because he got worried about a tactic over here. So he was actually defending. g4, a very, very strong move, because he wants to create an open file so that white's pieces can get in over here. All right? So knight f6, which is normal. He's attacking this pawn with the knight and the bishop, but his main goal is to get this bishop out. But notice, because he's developing slow, black's plan is a little bit slow. White's plan is very quick, because now you're seeing Vasily Ivanchuk, he's executing his plans. Watch there, g5. He's opening this bishop, sorry, not bishop, he's opening this pawn up and is kicking this knight away. So, bishop e6, threatening a checkmate here. He has to do something, otherwise black will lose very shortly. So white goes a3. That's the only move he had. Bishop g4, moving the knight away. But watch how white is opening black's king. Take the pawn. Queen d5 to threaten checkmate again. King e2. Queen a2. King c1. Watch how black is attacking, but there's a hole for the king to run away. Queen a1 check. King d2. Queen takes b2. Now, why am I showing you this? Very often when our opponent's attacking while we're following our plan, we get scared. We are worried. But the queen cannot win a game on its own. See how the queen is on its own? The pieces are all sitting at the back there. So white continues with his plans. Rook d to g1. Now he's bringing all the pieces to attack the king. Bishop d7. Only move because he needs to try and create a checkmate. Yeah, somehow. Go white's attacking now. He sacrifices the knight, the only defender of the position. Bishop takes g4. And watch that. Makes a big, big difference. Why did he do this? Because he has a checkmate here. So he will. So what will happen if he takes? Check. And that will be checkmate. So cannot take. So bishop e6 to protect the pawn. But watch how Ivanchuk is following his plan to attack the king. Bishop d4. Queen a2. Rook g1. Watch how all the pieces are attacking this king. c5. And watch this. Bishop h7 check. King h8. H takes g7 check. Bishop takes g7. Knight takes f7 check. Bishop takes f7. Bishop takes g7. King takes h7. Queen d3. King g1. Bishop f6 check. King f8. And queen takes d6. I'm gonna correct myself. This was Vasily Ivanchuk versus Boris Gelfand. It was not Anand. Beg your pardon. So I'm correcting myself immediately here at the moment. And this was the game between two, and you can see this will be checkmate very, very soon. If we put on the engine, what does the engine say? Engine will say it will be checkmate very, very soon. I'm quite certain the only move he's got is bishop e2, bishop e7, and queen takes e7 will be mate. I'm quite certain. So in other words, this is all he's got, and this will be checkmate. Because he cannot. King has got no places. Okay. So that's all for games that I want to show. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give the floor for you to have your Q&A sessions. So here's what I'm going to do. And parents, if the parents is there and they would like to ask questions about chess and how to help the youngsters, they're more than welcome to. So on the Jeffreys Bay group, this is the StreamYard stream. You can go on and you can ask your questions, or if you don't want to be on camera, send on the YouTube chat and you can ask the questions and I'll happily answer them. I'm not going to be playing on Leeches now, Toman. This is more for educational for everyone. Well, I think what you meant is who is Gatakamsky? That's Gatakamsky. Gatakamsky. Gatakamsky is a Russian grandmaster who lives in America. He's an American citizen. He's a 5-time US champion. He challenged Anatoly Karpov for the world championship years ago. Any other questions? Not based on wanting to play me, but based on what you would like to know. Is there anything that what comes to mind? This is your chance. Parents, if you want a question about for your child's chess education or to help develop the chess, this is also your chance now. Well, if there's nothing else, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Keep your eyes tuned for the next video, and if you did miss, there will be more. Please like and subscribe, and follow my channel. There will be more. Okay, I see the questions now. What in your opinion is the best opening? For me, the best opening right now, I don't think there's really such thing as the best opening in my opinion. The best opening is the opening that you are comfortable with, as long as your openings are following the opening principles, because whatever opening you play, whether you're a grandmaster, whether you're a world champion, whether you a top player, the principles remain the same. So for me, if your opening results to you gaining control or developing very quickly, then those openings are very good. So when I'm looking at good openings, I'm looking at openings such as for Black Caro-Kann, which is it's very structural and it's quick development. And another one is, one can argue, is Roy Lopez, because it gives you opportunity to castle early. Openings such as the Scotch game also allows you to castle early. But then if you're a player that does not have time to study, or if you don't have the attention span of wanting to study, then I recommend playing systems instead of openings, because simple reason, systems, your move order will remain the same regardless. And for that, if it's a system, I like the London system very much. Simple reason, because it's very flexible. Juniors play that. I've seen juniors play it. I've seen Magnus Carlsen play it. He's won many good games with it. I've seen him beat Hikaru Nakamura for the Blitz World Championship using the London system. So that will suggest that's also very good. Scotch game, very good. Although you don't see much of it at the moment, but it does come here and there, and it's normally rewarding. I think openings like King's Indian for Black is also very nice, because you're trying to develop early. You're giving away the central space in exchange to develop early, and you're hoping to equalize somewhere along the game. But again, it depends on your. For beginner, the best opening for beginner, if you're under 1,000, my honest opinion, you should be playing the Italian or the London system for white, or Caro-Kann for black. Simple reason is it's easy to understand, it's easy to put a plan together, and it's easy to and it's just to help build muscle memory on how the position should look like. So that is what I recommend at the moment. If you're a top player, it depends. Every top player has got his own opinion, he's got his own preference. I know some guys love the French. French is a nice opening also, very similar to Caro-Kann. A lot of people love Sicilian, but again, it depends on you. It really does. The Vienna game, it's a very nice opening. It's solid. It's very solid. It complements very much on central space and development very quickly. Again, there's no such thing as a bad opening these days. Best way to look at it is, if you want to know if the opening is good or not, always ask yourself, is the top players playing it? If they're still playing the opening, then it must be good. If the top players are not playing it no more, either they stop playing it or they're not playing it at all, then it means it's bad, because that means they've found something that doesn't work. It's a pleasure to play for. Is there anything else you want to know, or can I end off? Does the parents want to know anything? This is your chance. So that's it. So that's it for tonight. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. And have a good week further, guys. Thank you, and that is it. See you.